The Seahawks are less than a week away from Super Bowl 60. This is a live look at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, where the team will take on the Patriots in a rematch of their last Super Bowl appearance, which happened exactly 12 years ago today. Thank you for joining us for King 5's Countdown to Kickoff. I'm Madison Wade. All week at 8 p.m., we will bring you live coverage from the Bay Area as the Seahawks and fans prepare for the Super Bowl. And we have Paul and Ariel joining me now. And you guys were just talking to players and coaches. What was that like, Paul?
You know what? It was an interesting experience tonight. I mean, we've been here for, 4 hours, 5 hours or so. The Patriots came in, left. Then the Seahawks fans came in and greeted the Seahawks as they came in here for the last hour of this event. I'll let you start it off. What did you think?
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
Yeah, because you get some really great moments with the players where they're answering some earnest questions and like they're getting their thoughts, their feelings of things. And sometimes they're even having some fun with some good fun questions. And then you get some ridiculous questions, right? And you have to kind of rebound from that.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear a lot of the players. I know we kind of split up. Ariel did one side of the room, I did the other side of the room, and I think the general consensus was the players were good sports.
Yes.
The Seahawks played along with these guys. They did the best they could not to embarrass them over their questions, but it was good to hear some good football questions out there. And you can hear probably a little bit of the fans behind us. They're shooing them out of here, but the 12s were here making a lot of noise. They put them in one corner of this cavernous building, and they've been making noise all night. So that was pretty impressive, the energy that the 12s brought to this place. But I can tell that we talked to the guys like Ernest Jones earlier tonight, and he's always one of the good ones, isn't he?
Yeah, and I spoke to him right out the gate. He was the first guy I went to because I knew that he's won a Super Bowl before, and I really wanted his take on all of this. Not just the game, but the fanfare and what it's like. And he had some really some good insight into this whole week.
Kind of guys were we were playing well at the time, floating some names out there. A couple didn't stick. Then we finally settled on one, and then I think after a couple games of us playing in that kind of mode, the dark side kind of just stuck with us, and that's what we've been rolling with. I remember my first time coming here, and I only had a couple pictures, and I'm like, man, you don't. This doesn't happen every year. So I'm annoying the guys, taking pictures every time they turn around, when they want to, when they don't. It's just, opening day, got some pictures from here, just kind of little things. Honestly, with my first time, I was just the starting middle linebacker. I didn't really get to do much of the media portion, and we were in LA, so we didn't do much of this. So this is new to me, but like I've been telling the guys, enjoy it. This doesn't happen all the time. We worked hard for this moment, so let's enjoy this, and when it's football time, it's football time.
Well, we know that Mike McDonald tells his players to soak this all in, enjoy the moment, and this is part of it. This is the kickoff of Super Bowl week. The players will be available throughout the first part of the week, and then that's it. They'll shut them down, and they'll be able to do their own thing away from the media. So, but we'll have you completely covered throughout this show. We're going to hear from a lot more from the players, but right now let's go back to Madison.
All right, Paul and Ariel, live from the fanfare at Super Bowl 60. We're looking forward to more stories and more player interviews. Thank you. We saw earlier on the screen JSN being interviewed, Cooper Kupp being interviewed as well, so we'll get to those players here shortly, the stars of the Seahawks team too. But Joyce Taylor is standing by live in San Jose right now, so let's check in with Joyce.
So you heard from Paul and Ariel. They're inside the convention center. I am outside the convention center. And I just have to tell you, when we got here, the line of fans almost circled the block. And I have to admit, I saw more 12s jerseys than Patriots jerseys. But true confession, the Patriots were already inside. But anyway, the 12s are here. They are representing in such a big way. And I just can't tell you how thrilling it is for me to be here and to sort of bring you guys all along on this journey. I was able to get inside, and I did with my cell phone. Maybe you've seen some posts. I did talk to a couple of the players. I talked to Leonard Williams, whose wife, by the way, Haley, I'm going to be talking to later in the week. And I talked to Julian Love, and I asked Julian Love, so what is so special about the team? What is so special about the 12s? And he said, both he and Leonard Williams said the 12s are just, they just cannot thank the 12s enough for representing, for just being in their corner, for filling the stadium, for being so loud at Lumen Field. And then I asked Julian, what's special about the team? And he said, you know what? We're super close and we lead with love. And then I couldn't resist. I also had to ask about what the coach said when we won the NFC Championship. We don't care. And what he thought about that, he said, you know, it's just our total mindset. We really don't care. And that's the mindset they're taking into Super Bowl Sunday. They are so ready for this game. But to piggyback of what Ariel said about the mixed questions, they were also getting asked questions like, you know, about Bad Bunny, who's your favorite, what's your favorite song, what's your favorite Mexican food, you know, silly questions like that. And they have to admit, they were really, really great sports. Great sports. So we're going to be here. There's so much more coming up in this hour, and we're going to be here every night at 8, as you know. So for now, I'm going to toss it back to you, Madison.
All right. Oh, Joyce, I love it. And as you were just wrapping up right there, a bunch of Seahawks fans went right behind you. It's just so fun to see.
I couldn't hear them.
Exactly. The 12s are invading what is Niners territory, so it's really fun to see. Okay, thank you, Joyce. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Well, King 5's Jim Nelson is also in the Bay Area this week as the Seahawks are preparing for the Super Bowl. He spoke with fans who made that trek down to see their team.
We started to feel the excitement in the airport when some of the 12s were arriving here in the Bay Area. Now it's spilled over into opening night. Yeah, this is a made-for-TV event, a chance to hear from the players, but it's also a really exciting night for the fans who are able to come, and they're kind of in a secluded area, but they get to watch everything unfold and cheer their favorite players on, some of them even coming over and leading the Seahawks chant. A great moment, great interaction, really an exciting start to the week. We've been talking to fans from all over the place, obviously some down from the Seattle area, including this guy from Kent.
Man, I have all these family members here in San Francisco and the Bay Area, and they're all Niner fans and I'm a Seattle fan, so why not? Our first Super Bowl in San Francisco, it's going to be a fun one.
Now, when I say the 12s are coming from near and far, I mean it, because I found a fan who's up here for other reasons, but is a Seahawks fan all the way from Panama.
Well, I started watching NFL in like 2020, and then the first game I ever watched was a Seahawks game, and I was like, they won like really like huge score, and I was like, that is a team I'm gonna like go for, and that's been like 6 years now, and I love them.
Growing up, my dad was a Packer fan, but he used to always say I play like Sean Alexander, and I didn't know who it was. And I started watching them. Everybody kept saying it on the field, and I just became a diehard Seahawks fan since there. So it was like, you know, I'll be rocking with them.
So there's no doubt about it. Super Bowl week is underway, and the excitement is already building. It'll reach a crescendo at the end of the week, but everyone for now is enjoying the ride. In the Bay Area, Jim Nelson, King 5 News.
And speaking of enjoying the ride, our Drew Mickelson is actually riding down I-5 to get to Santa Clara right now as we speak. We caught up with him earlier today as he was making his way through Oregon, and he's also catching some super Seahawks fans along the way.
We made it to Canyonville, Oregon, about 320 miles south of Olympia. We're getting a head start. Not a lot of Seahawks fans have hit the road yet, but if you are planning on coming down this week, you'll see lots of 12s along the way.
This is a one-of-a-kind, the Tyler Lockett.
When Larry Bevins' daughter moved out, he had big plans for her bedroom.
I got Lofa Tupu, I got Steve Largent, I got Cam Chancellor.
This 12th man cave in his Vancouver, Washington home has all sorts of memorabilia, but he doesn't only have stuff.
You have the big wheel, Pike's Place, and the needle.
He's got Seahawk ink everywhere.
What used to be called the Clink, now is called Lumen Field. And then just the skyline of Seattle. And then I had a flag drawn up.
His fanaticism has been well documented, not only for his swag and tattoos, but for his community service as well.
My friends actually got this for my birthday after I won Fan of the Year.
The NFL named Bevins the league's official Fan of the Year in 2022 after decades worth of work as a foster parent. That honor enabled him to announce the Seahawks draft pick that year when they selected Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I wish it was Thursday and I was already there.
Right now, all he can think about is Super Bowl Sunday. He flies down Thursday and hopes his lifetime of service and fandom pays off.
It'll be all Seahawks related all week after that until I get home. And then then it's parade time.
You don't have to be a super fan like Larry to recognize this. This was the logo from Super Bowl 48, where 12 years ago today, the Seahawks won. Tom Tedford and I were lucky enough to cover that one. We're going back for this Super Bowl. Still have some of that swag. I thought we might need this knit cap for the Southern Oregon weather here this winter, but it was 64 degrees down here today. Tomorrow, we hope to be warm again under the California sun at the Golden Gate Bridge. From Canyonville, Oregon, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
He will be there tomorrow. All right, let's check in with Paul Sylvie and Ariel Orsuto. They are live inside the San Jose Convention Center where all the fanfare, interviews of the players and coaches is happening today. Hi, guys.
Hello again. Yeah, it was interesting to hear Drew talk about the weather because the weather has been awesome down there. It's been unbelievable. High 60s, low 70s, sunshine every day, and the long forecast of it is Sunday is supposed to be dry as well.
Only getting better.
Yes, we're in for a good week, and of course that could always change by the weekend, but right now it looks great, and fans just enjoying themselves down here tonight. And the 12s packed into this place because they didn't have a big area to get into, but they packed in here and made a noise, a whole lot of noise, much more noise than the Patriots fans, so they won that battle for sure. But a nice mix of veterans and young guys on this team, and they always talk about the brotherhood. Mike McDonald, that's kind of his deal right there, and the players have all bought into it, and they're all one big happy family. Julian Love is just one of those guys who is a leader on this team.
Absolutely. He's been a leader since the moment he stepped onto this team, and it's just the way in which he leads by example, and he leads with just such love. I mean, right? Like it's funny that that's his last name because he really does. He leads with love.
Yeah.
And but he leads by example because man, is he a heck of a player. But it's the way in which I've spoken to him time and time again this season, and he really believes in that mob mentality that they've been playing with, that mission over BS.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the way that they've been playing this year, and they really truly believe that has brought them together to play this way.
Yeah, he's grateful to be back on the field and be able to play in the playoffs and play in this Super Bowl because he missed a lot of this season with a hamstring injury. He couldn't quite get back yet. He still was the Seahawks representative and recipient of the Walter Payton Award this year. He was very grateful for that. This guy's very thankful for everything that has come his way in this NFL career of his, which hopefully will continue with a Super Bowl championship on Sunday with the help of the 12s.
I think it's just a surprising slept-on sports town. I didn't know what I was getting into when I signed with the fan base and the culture, but they go all out, and it's for everybody. It's for us, it's for the Mariners, it's for the Storm. I've been a part of all those games. I've been to a lot of the games, and the fans care. They're like really, really good fans, and they're extremely positive. They show love. I'm on the street. They're respectful. They show a lot of love, and it's a lot of pride. And so, yeah, the 12s, it just means more for us. The team, we're just close. I think we lead with love, and yeah, we're very unserious. We mess around with each other. Are playing cards, are roasting each other constantly. But then when the whistle sounds, we're all business. Yeah, that's Mike for you. I love that the fan base in the city adopted that saying because we cooked him for that. That was funny. Him getting on stage. If you want to make Coach sweat a little bit, put him on stage with a mic in front of some people. But the core of the message is what it is. Right? We don't care about all the extra stuff. We're here for a reason, and we're happy to show it.
We were down here covering the arrival of the Seahawks yesterday. You were at the airport. I was at the hotel, and you were the first to see the Seahawks come off that plane with those T-shirts that said, "We did not care." So they warmed with pride yesterday. Let's go back to Madison.
That is so true. I think, initially, Paul and Ariel, you guys remember how much noise there was over the Seahawks and them not having a good season coming up this year. Look at them now. I think that is what is so amazing about his message is that they put all that noise aside, they focus at the task at hand, and it got them to the biggest stage in sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, Paul and Ariel, we will catch up with you guys here shortly throughout the show. Stay with us right here on King 5. We are continuing our streaming coverage, Countdown to Kickoff, and we'll be right back after this short break.
everywhere in San Jose, in Santa Clara, and of course in San Francisco, because we are getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday. So, by the way, a Yakima couple's NFL-style wedding was sort of a premonition of this Super Bowl matchup. And they are sharing their love of the game with Farah Jadran.
This couple is committed. There might be some timeouts over disagreements while watching Super Bowl 60, but they know for certain in marriage, there's no off season. Entering the field from the tunnel is Yakima bride Stephanie Knupp. Her something blue was in her Patriots jersey. Her groom, Eric Knupp, suited up in his Seahawks best.
Watching her come out with her dad, coming down the aisle. That was probably my favorite. Finally getting to see her, since I didn't get to see her since the day before.
In the playbook, there are X's and O's, hugs and kisses. We are talking about getting married. All football teams have coordinators, or in this case, a wedding coordinator, Stephanie's mom, for the September 20th, 2025 ceremony.
For us, it was a blast. It's not something you get to do every day.
Guests wore their favorite team colors, and instead of blowing bubbles, they waved pom-poms and tiny foam fingers. Trade bouquets of flowers for footballs. Be sure not to fumble. And the cake, a special wedding topper, was the trick play.
We are gathered here today to do the most important game of Stephanie and Eric's life. Today we celebrate their touchdown into a lifelong partnership.
That's referee Reverend Christina Van Horn, called up to make sure no one was offside.
It was like a big football game. Everybody was cheering them on. It was wonderful. It was so much love that I'm still smiling. Every time I talk about it or somebody asks me, I'm just like, it was their love.
Tom Brady wore 12 on the field. So did Stephanie on her Super Bowl wedding day. But we know the meaning of 12 runs deep for Seahawks fans.
Safe to say that Eric is now your favorite 12?
On some days, yeah.
Let's talk Super Bowl 60.
Have you already decided how you'll handle celebrations? Because only one team can win. You guys are the home team, but only the Patriots or the Seahawks can win.
One of us is going to be happy.
Yeah.
And me as a football fan, I love watching a good game. It's like, I love when Seattle beat Denver, but that Seattle-New England game in the Super Bowl, I think is one of the best Super Bowls that they ever played. It was so competitive.
It was right down to the last minute.
I go the Tackle Lights challenges with you. You feeling through everything.
I now pronounce you our Super Bowl champions, Eric and Stephanie. You may now huddle up front for your first kiss as a married couple.
Touchdown!
In this Super Bowl, holding is allowed and encouraged. The home team couple has not yet taken a proper honeymoon, and when you think about it, a trip to Santa Clara on February 8th sounds fitting, but that is pricey. Right now, the Knupps plan to watch the game together in Yakima. Reporting in the King 5 studios, I'm Farah Jadran.
Gosh, that would be so fun to be in their home watching them watch the game, especially on Sunday. All right, let's toss it back out to Paul Sylvie and Ariel Orsuto. They are speaking with players and coaches all day. Guys.
Okay, one thing we notice all the time in these in Super Bowl opening night, which used to be media day, is the players come out here, they all get a podium. Mm-hmm. The select players get a podium, and then you see who is the most desired, person to talk to, and that person was Sam Darnold tonight.
Of course, yeah, it was like three of them that were the biggest swarms. It was Jackson Smith and Jigba, Sam Darnold, and Cooper Kupp, but Sam Darnold's was like mega sized, right?
Right away.
Yeah, and with good reason, right? I mean, he played the first part of the season. He was playing like an MVP. Towards the end, obviously he won them that NFC Championship game, and he resurrected his career. He's shutting up a lot of the critics, and so there's so much to ask him. Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting when you go back and you look at the draft class of the quarterbacks that Sam was in, Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills star quarterback. They didn't make it to the Super Bowl yet. Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, first quarterback of that class to make it to the Super Bowl. So he's very excited for Sunday.
We're preparing exactly the same way as we would for a normal game, and to be in a hotel with your boys for a whole week is also pretty cool. So we're enjoying the moment, and preparing exactly the way we would for a regular game. We got a special group. We got really good scheme on both sides of the ball. Our special teams has been playing amazing throughout the entire season. So we've just been playing good football, and we're going to continue to try to strive to do that throughout this week and during practice and during the game. You have to learn from your mistakes, and I think, learning from my mistakes early in my career, I feel like has gotten me to this point. So I look at every time you fail, or you might lose a game, or you might not do exactly what you want to do on every single play. Like you learn from that, and I think as long as you learn from it, you can always look ahead to better things and not making the same mistake twice.
It's funny. One thing you notice when the locals have been following these guys all season long, and then the national guys come in and they ask them the same question. So we're kind of sitting there going, "Yep, heard that one already." It's like, but a lot of it was repetitive, but a lot of it was just true emotion from these guys. And I'd say for the most part, the players really enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, you're repeating some of the same storylines. Of course, the same storylines of him resurrecting his career, right, making that comeback. But sometimes it's still good to hear the story more and more and more times. And it's good to hear from other guys, too, because other people talking about him.
Yeah. Every time they retell the story, there's always a little nugget or something that comes out. So all right, they're throwing us out of here. We're going to go back outside. They're wrapping it up in this cavernous building, but it has been a lot of fun inside. We'll continue the party outside with Joyce in just a few.
All right, love it. Well, we will catch up with you guys here very shortly. Thank you, Paul and Ariel. And I think a lot of us Seahawks fans just want, if it comes down to that one play, run the ball. Don't toss it. Don't toss it in the end zone, all right? I think we've learned our lesson there. Okay, we want to get back out to Joyce Taylor, who is live outside of the San Jose Convention Center. Joyce, you were there when you witnessed that moment. We don't even really want to relive it or talk about it because it's in the past. But I know you were there.
And I just was hearing the married couple talk about it. It's like, of course he had to bring up that one game, right, that we'll never get over. But I was hearing some folks talk about it recently. We have to put that in the past. That was a different team. That was a different era. We're going to close the book on that one. Now we're in a new era with a new team, with a new attitude. So, I'm feeling really good about it. But, throw the ball. Please just throw the ball, right? Okay, listen, if you know some folks who have tickets to go to the Super Bowl, they are so lucky because I'm sure many of diehard Seahawks fans have been scrambling trying to get tickets, and they are so expensive. Natalie Swaby has that story.
I got to get the batteries now for the blue.
In this corner of Kirkland, Seahawks fans roar with pride.
Did you hear? We're going to Super Bowl.
Grabbing attention.
We're going to Super Bowl.
This fired up group includes longtime season ticket holders.
Since 1978.
We're still celebrating Sunday night's Seahawks victory.
The Rams are a really good team. And that was a really good game. And that game could have gone either way, but our team held it together.
Now their sights are set on following their team to the Super Bowl.
We're just going to make it happen.
Within a 24-hour window, Google Trends captured the excitement in Washington state, where searches for Super Bowl tickets and flights skyrocketed around 7 p.m. Sunday, with fans racing to reach the big game.
Multiple airlines are packing extra flights between Seattle and the Bay Area. By Monday afternoon, verified sites list prices starting just under $7,000, climbing to nearly $25,000 for a single ticket. One season ticket holder is dodging the high dollar amounts.
I was selected by Seahawks to get the Super Bowl tickets.
The good news arrived in her email inbox last night.
I am really humbled, really blessed that I got that chance to go and actually be there for my team.
Others are doing the math.
For hotel, airfare, tickets and everything, probably $10,000. Probably $10,000, yeah. It's a lot of money.
Calculating every dollar.
So we did put a deposit down. It's going to be very spendy.
It could be once in a lifetime. It's an experience. It's a memory you're going to create for yourself.
Fans without Super Bowl tickets aren't sitting this out.
The Seahawker Booster Club is putting together a watch party in San Jose.
And closer to home, local venues are planning watch parties too, in Kirkland.
It's my passion. It's not just about the football. It's about the community.
Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Okay, so we're here outside of the convention center. We have some Washington folks who just came out. Tell me your name.
My name is Matt Darlington.
And what's your name?
And Parker Darlington.
And this is a special time for you. Tell me what it's like to be here for the Super Bowl.
It's so amazing to come watch our Hawks. I'm a season ticket holder. We're from Leavenworth, Washington. And me and Parker have been doing this every year since he's been a little kid, like 4 years old, to every Super Bowl. It's a tradition every year, but it's always extra special now because the Hawks are in it.
So you go every year regardless of who's playing, but now it's your home team.
Yes, we don't go into the game. We just go and hang out, and we just love football. And now it's surreal because he plays middle school football, and we're able to, like, he has his heroes and everybody he looks up to. And then, of course, the Hawks, season ticket holder.
So Parker, you were inside. What was it like? Who did you get to see? Tell us.
That was amazing. I got to see a few guys like Derek Hall, just a bunch of different guys. Got to ask a few questions.
What'd you ask them?
I was just asking what their welcome to the league moment was.
What'd they say?
They were saying either when they got pancaked or when they got
I don't know what that is.
Tackled. Really
okay.
Hard. Yeah.
What Tariq Woolen did for you?
Tariq Woolen, after he actually gave me the ESPN top 10 the chain, so I got to take a few photos with that.
You
so that
did?
was cool.
You have it with you?
Oh no, I don't have it.
But
with
you
me,
have it.
Yeah,
okay, so
what
is special about being here with your dad? Doing this every year, but having it be the Seahawks
well,
this
I
year.
mean, it's amazing. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. The Seahawks, it's amazing.
How old are you?
I just turned 14 a little bit ago.
This is a life moment. You're going to remember this forever, aren't you?
For sure. Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen in this game?
Seahawks going to win by 7. Final touchdown.
Parker heard it here. Okay, so Dad, this is, I know, a really special thing. Did you guys make the drive down? Did you fly down? Is there any chance you'll get inside for the Super Bowl?
So anybody back in Seattle wants to bless us, we're kind of on a budget here. We might wait till game time to try to click on StubHub at the last minute. But we were in Centralia for a basketball tournament, and we just said, let's road trip down. 10 hours wasn't bad from Centralia, and we're just so blessed to be around all these Seattle people. We saw you, and we're like, oh, our favorite newscaster. This is unbelievable.
God bless you. Thank you so much. You know, I've been to a couple of Super Bowls in the past just for work, and it's hard to really explain to all of our folks back home why it's just so special to be here with so many 12s, to feel the energy, to have these communities come together in a way that's unique to sports. How would you explain it to our viewers, what it's like?
It is. It's just unbelievable. I mean, to have all these people that I see on game day, all my the collaboration, like everybody on social media. Oh, I'll see you in Santa Clara. I'll see you in Santa Clara at the NFC Championship game. It was just unbelievable, and to be there. One of my greatest moments ever was the confetti falling down on me when we beat Peyton Manning 43-8. To be in that stadium, literally a lifetime highlight. But to get back at the Patriots after not giving Marshawn the ball in the 1, it's just like, wow, we went through the
People
90s,
keep bringing it up.
I know.
Why?
We're going to re-correct history. We are. We're going to correct history and bring home the title. I just know it.
You know, I was thinking that, you know, it is going to be nice to close the book on that chapter, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I saw a thing online that says, we signed Marshawn to a 1-yard contract to give him the ball. I thought that was the funniest thing. But man, I'd do anything to see him get that ball and do it. But we're going to go take care of business for Marshawn.
Winning by 7. A pleasure to meet you, Parker. Me too. And you too. And what a wonderful experience to have with your son.
Oh,
it's just really, thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Go
and have
Hawks.
fun. Go Hawks!
See.
Thank you.
Hawks. See.
Hawks!
Wait, one more time. Thanks, guys. Thank you. If you see us at the field, give me a shout out.
If anybody has tickets, please, Matt Darlington, Leavenworth, Washington, look me up on Facebook.
Way to sell it. We'll be right back.
Well, hi there, Perella Lewis with a look at our Super Bowl forecast for California, Santa Clara, of course, and for Seattle as well. If you're going to be tailgating here or there, here's what it's looking like right now. Out at Santa Clara, we're looking at the very least, increasing clouds, if not a few stray showers possible. Look at the temperatures, though, 65 degrees. If you're tailgating, you're going to run into some early morning fog out there in California with an increasing chance of a few spotty showers. That's the way it it looks right now, but definitely warmer than average, mid-60s. If you're staying here at home and you're enjoying some festivities, well, it's going to be pretty much the same, just a little bit cooler. Temperatures only in the low 50s, but we are also likely going to see some spotty showers on that day. As we go into your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, California and Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, in fact, is actually going to be dry. As we get into Friday, Saturday, we'll start to see a little bit of rain on the coast of western Washington, but California is still dry as we go into Friday. As we go into Saturday, an increase in clouds, and as we go into Sunday, look at what happens both in Seattle and western parts of our viewing area, and also for parts of California. We're looking at some spotty showers. This is at 1:30, but it looks like that rainfall could increase. So just kind of a heads up, you might be dodging a few showers no matter where you are for Super Bowl Sunday, of course, if you are in and along the coast. As we go into Saturday, not a ton of rain, but by Sunday, we add to those accumulations quite a bit. So here you go. Here's a look at the forecast. We're looking at warmer than average Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but again, we are looking at those chances for rain increasing each day heading into Super Bowl weekend.
Looking like a good forecast right there. All right. We have this moment right here from this father from Shelton when he realized that his son surprised him with tickets to the NFC Championship game at Lumen Field. That video has since gone viral, but there really is more of a backstory to this. So I caught up with his son who surprised his father. On his way to Soto, this father from Shelton had no idea what was coming his way.
My parents have worked so hard their entire life, and I just wanted to, try to give them cool experiences that, I feel like they've missed out on.
Irvin Garcia, a first-generation medical student at UCLA, decided to surprise his father with tickets to the Seahawks NFC Championship game.
I'm just going to go for it. I know it might be expensive and all that, but I'll put that on future Dr. Garcia's tab. And I just went for it.
And walking near the stadium, that's when it finally hit him.
I just pointed the camera at him, and we were like right outside of Lumen Field, and he just kind of took it in, and it was like, oh, we're here. We're really going to this game.
His father, overcome with emotion, takes it all in. Just months ago, walking into Lumen Field wouldn't have been possible for him. He just recovered from a serious stroke.
Any type of stroke is just one of the, scariest things, red flags, or just like a can't miss diagnosis.
Irvin, studying to become a doctor, immediately came to his father's side to help. And as his father regained his strength, they leaned on each other and on football.
Part of our therapy was actually throwing a football around, just because that was something that we sort of bonded on.
That bond continued to the NFC Championship game. Seeing the Seahawks win and go to the Super Bowl felt like their own Super Bowl in a way.
But there's certain moments, in our life that I feel like you just have to experience it, and value our families and our loved ones, because that's something that's, it's not going to be there forever. Seeing how quickly life can change, has really made me cherish life a lot more. So.
Isn't that so heartwarming? And right now, there is a mission started by the 12s to get Irvin and his dad to the Super Bowl. So if that happens, we will hopefully have a surprise for you right here on King 5. We wish them nothing but the best. I should also mention that Irvin started a GoFundMe for his father with all the medical bills that he is facing after his serious stroke just happened in October. That GoFundMe has more than $40,000 of donations. So really incredible to see 12s come together to support him and his dad. All right, we want to get back out to San Jose outside the convention center. We've got our whole crew there, minus a few who might be getting some much needed rest right now. Joyce Taylor, Ariel Orsuto, Paul Sylvie, all together right now. Guys, it's so exciting to see you all down there. That means it's really happening. We're just 6 days away from the big game.
And counting. to Kickoff.
There's a lot of energy out here. This is cool. Inside, as you know, as you saw behind us, it was dying out because everybody was leaving and getting thrown out. There are a ton of fans still out here, so it's cool to be out here among the 12s and even any NFL fans because everybody's excited for the big game on Sunday. Let's talk about Cooper Kupp. Ariel, you know, this is a guy who we enjoy listening to all season long because he kind of holds court when he goes to the podium because he's such a veteran.
He really is, and I really love just the way that he's able to just talk about anything. You know, he could talk about, you know, routes. He could talk about other players. He could really kind of just, you know, pontificate on anything. But today he decided to answer a really interesting question about his family legacy.
Yeah.
And that's where you get just those interesting nuggets. And sometimes, like we were saying earlier, Joyce, like that, sometimes those questions, they get a little wonky.
Right.
This one was a really great one that we were able to get just to underneath the core of Cooper Kupp.
It's been really cool. My dad and grandpa, they didn't talk a whole lot about their playing days. Growing up, that was just my dad and my grandpa. But as I got older and, you know, my dad became my quarterback. You know, I'm running routes and doing stuff in the backyard. He taught me about receiver initially because I was running routes for him. And, you know, my grandpa was just my grandpa. We'd go out and we're always playing. We're always outside. And, you got to be around, though, my grandpa in his basement. You know, he had the helmets from his playing days. He had the old, like, leather helmet that he wore in college. He had all these things. Like, man, there's so many stories and things that you knew that he had lived. Just you know, really cool, being able to experience some really cool things. And as he got older, it was really fun to be able to bounce ideas off him and be able to talk about them, be able to talk about those experiences. And, yeah, it's been a real special thing. Anything with football that's been good has come when my faith and my family, those priorities, when those are in alignment, that's when I'm at my best. And so feel incredibly blessed for really my entire life, for the incredible blessings that I've had, the people that have been brought into my life.
Another great moment. We're in California, so someone asked, why didn't you go to USC? I know you wanted to go to USC. He said, they didn't want me at USC, so I went to Eastern Washington and loved my time there.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because a lot of these guys, you forget that a lot of these guys weren't highly touted, you know, 3, 4, 5-star athletes, you know, and then they were kind of just afterthoughts. And Cooper Kupp is just one of those prime examples of a guy who took his ability, believed in himself, and made something out of it. Fun to watch throughout his career.
Now, at the top of the show, I heard you talking about the guys feeling so grateful to be here. Gratitude is something that you really feel amongst these guys too. I was talking to Leonard Williams about, you know, being on the team, and that is the one thing that really comes through for him. He's just so grateful to be having this moment, to be here, to be with the 12s.
That's a veteran who's been playing for more than 10 years, 11 years, I believe, in this league.
He's soaking up every minute.
Finally getting his chance.
Yeah. Can I steal your mic
you
for a second?
absolutely
But don't
may.
go away.
No, I'm going to step aside because we have more important people to come in. Come on in.
No. Okay, so Todd Gomez, you are a huge Seahawks fan. Give us the backstory.
You could say that. So I'm the president of the NorCal Seahawkers. I've been the president for 25 years now.
Wow.
And
how'd that happen?
Right. So I was born in the East Bay. Still live in the East Bay, and we were a soccer family. Nobody was left-footed like me. No.
Come closer to me. I want them to see your face. No, no kidding.
Yes, Zoran Galargin. You know, I like the colors, I like the team, and I didn't like those creamsicle jerseys.
And so that was enough for you.
It stuck, and now I'm also one of the PFUFA Ultimate fans in Canton, Ohio.
Okay, so about the Seahawkers, how many people are in this group? What are you guys doing gearing up to the Super Bowl? And how important is the significance of this whole?
You know what? It's
NorCal
here.
Seahawkers.
It's in our home. So normally I plan just the tailgate for regular season. You know, I can do that.
But this year going big.
A whole team. Yes, we have a whole team. We're planning 2 events. The Saturday night rally is going to be at San Pedro Square in San Jose. And then the pre-tailgate is going to be at Clara's Junction. It's about 750 feet from the stadium.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we're planning both events. Beast Bus going to be at both of them.
Are you going to be at the Saturday flyover?
The Saturday flyover, yes.
So I'm going to take at the Welcome Center.
Yes, so I'm the one that's going to take the photo for that also.
Okay, I'll be there for that.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So I'll see you there.
And you were inside.
Yes.
What was the highlight for you?
You know, all the players came out, and it was just cool to see them. You know, giving everybody high fives. You know, they weren't hands off. They were hands on, greeting everybody.
Really nice, right?
You had mentioned gratitude, and they really did.
Right?
Yeah, they thought this is so cool.
Yeah,
you know, even though they
you can
didn't
feel
say
the
that.
magic of the moment.
Absolutely.
Listen, Todd, a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, go Hawks.
All right. Come on back in, Paul. Ariel, come back in. You know, there's just so much going on here. There's so much to share. We have, about 20, 30 minutes left to go. Here's your microphone back. Madison, we're going to throw it back to you, but you'll come back to us in a minute.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for bringing all the fanfare to us live right here on King 5. We are talking to fans all week long, players all week long. But one moment we want to spend right now talking about the rivalry. Now, not between the teams, but between a father and son. We want to get to that story right now.
It's going to be a party.
In this Underhill home, Sundays have always meant football.
Good memories.
Representing their teams and the bond between a father and his son.
A lot of excitement every Sunday.
Gerber Rodriguez became a Seattle fan long before he became a dad. Growing up in Seattle, the city's teams were his teams. And when Sam was born, he tried to pass that love on.
When he was a kid, I put him on a Seahawks gear. There's some pictures around.
Sure, there are photos, ones that Sam keeps hitting, but in New England, loyalty comes first.
This is my home, you know, I root for my home team, root for represent my community here.
2 teams, 2 generations, 1 living room. Then came the Super Bowl, and a goal line play that still lives in NFL history.
I thought the game was over before the big play.
I'll be reminding him every chance I get of the Malcolm Butler interception.
So the banter comes with the territory.
Sam Darnold's going to start seeing ghosts.
So does the noise, and another Super Bowl just raises the volume. But what doesn't change is why they're here.
It's just something that brings us closer together. You know, it's nice. It's like great time that we can just spend together watching the game that we both love.
It's been amazing, and it's been amazing seeing him grow and how much love he has for the game.
So as the game nears, the celebration in this home comes with plenty of
food. Yeah. We make a lot of food. We're probably gonna have like 30 people here, if no more.
That sounds like a party. All right, and then they live in Vermont, I should mention that, so they're going to be watching that from their home. How fun is it to see all these fans come together over one game, one important game for sure? Well, we're going to take a short break, but we will be right back right here. And welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. We are just 6 days away from Super Bowl 60, Seahawks versus Patriots. It's a rematch, a revenge bowl, some are calling it. Our Paul Sylvie, Ariel Orsuto, and Joyce Taylor are live outside the San Jose Convention Center, where inside the event just wrapped up, the fanfare of today's media event with all the players and coaches. So I want to ask you, Paul, really quickly, what's the rest of the week look like for the team? Because they got to focus in, rest up, all the things leading up to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, this is a week where Mike McDonald wants to keep everything in cadence. That's his big deal. Keep everything very routine for these players. So during the season, they always have Tuesday off. That's the NFL day off. And so the players will have tomorrow off completely. No obligations. Certainly no reporters and microphones in their faces. They can relax a little bit and enjoy a day off down here before they get to practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and get that game planning in for the Patriots. So that's one nice thing about this team is that we've been told and we know they are all business. They're all about the brotherhood. This team is not going to be running out all over the place tomorrow when they have the day off, doing silly things, having a big old grand time. They're going to treat their bodies, make sure they have the proper treatment, get their bodies ready for Sunday's game. It is a day of rest, but it's definitely a day of treatment and a day of focus as they get ready to get back to practice on Wednesday. And we talk about some of these guys out there and some of the guys that were in here today. They put a lot of the stars at the podiums in there. Select players spoke to the media tonight. One of those guys was JSN. And boy, he talked for over an hour. Normally we only get him during the week for 10 minutes or so, and he's happy to get out of there. God love him, all those guys, for staying at that podium for over an hour, talking to all the reporters and all answering a lot of silly questions and a lot of pointed questions.
Yeah, and Joyce, earlier you were talking about how you heard a lot of guys being asked about Bad Bunny and their music and their food and stuff like
favorite song.
And boy did JSN get the bulk of those questions. He got a lot of them. But when they were reeled in a little bit and we were talking about football, we were getting some really good stuff from him because we're talking about a guy who he had a bit of a breakout season last year, but nothing compared to this year, where he's the NFC Offensive Player of the Year most likely. And he obviously he's only just shy of 2,000 yards receiving on the year. It's incredible what he's been able to do, and he said it's really indicative of their new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, I mean, you could say so many great things about JSN, the receiving core, everybody on that offensive side of the ball. We saw them go up and down down the stretch, and then things finally leveled out. But one of the keys to the Seahawks team when it comes to coaches and players is being able to make in-game adjustments, and that's one of the things JSN talked about tonight is the ability of this veteran team to get together, realize what's not working, fix it, and get out there and get it done.
Being able to problem solve while you're out there, problems come up, schemes come up that maybe you don't recognize, but being able to problem solve out there in real time is something that I feel like elite receivers do. I'm super blessed to be in this position, and I remember looking up to guys that are kind of in my position now, and I just want to push it forward and give back to the youth and make sure I'm doing my part. We're gonna do our thing. We feel very confident we can get the job done and score points, so we're just gonna take it one play at a time like we usually do and do our job.
We've talked about the veterans on this team, the great mix of veterans and young players. And some of these young players, Ariel, the rookies, are playing like vets by the end of the season. We've talked a lot about Nick Emanwari, the safety who basically came out and just exploded onto the scene, stayed healthy the second half of the season, and just erupted and played like a veteran in his rookie season. Gray Zabel was another one like that.
Yeah, and they're one of the youngest teams in the entire NFL, one of the youngest rosters, and that really speaks to how they've been performing out there. Gray Zabel, though, has grown up in front of our eyes since he was the first round pick this draft. And I asked him tonight, when was that moment that you felt like you kind of went from rookie to being able to keep up with the veterans?
That took some time because I think the relationship needed to be built first. And I think when I initially got drafted and came into OTAs, I think the biggest thing for me was learning. And I say it all the time, like, you don't know what you don't know. And to have guys like that kind of take me under their wing, show me what it is to be a vet, what it is to be in the NFL, kind of really allowed me to blossom out in Seattle because they kind of showed me the ropes. And then as you get down the line and you have the relationship and all that stuff, and then maybe you help them out here, throw in a tip here, it's huge. And it was so cool that they got to put that out there and kind of see that exchange. But I can't tell you how many times Leo's came up to me and said, hey, you might want to set differently here if you throw this, blah, blah, blah. And all those times that he's done that, it's something I'm going to spend the next 10 to 20 years trying to repay to him for everything he's done this past year for me.
So that's a serious side of Gray Zabel becoming the veteran of the rookie. But another really funny, quick thing of like how you can tell that he's like really fitting in with everyone else. He comes out to practice every day and immediately goes like, "Woo, how we doing today, everybody?" And like you can tell like that's like not a rookie thing to do to like kind of like get everyone pumped up.
That's
and,
a veteran thing to do.
It's a veteran thing to do, and I feel like that just like is in a nutshell who Gray Zabel has become.
Yeah, he's a confident guy for sure, and he's a tough guy too. We talked about during the season he got hurt in that Rams game on the very last touchdown by the Seahawks, and he came off the field. He was limping, and Mike McDonald said, everybody was doubtful he was going to come back the next week, but this guy amazed everybody in 6 days, got back and got ready to play football again, and really impressed his teammates and his head coach, and played that next Sunday. So his toughness is another big thing as well. Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute and enjoy it.
Hey.
There you go. Hey, man. Thanks for stopping by.
12s are representing, right?
Yeah, we're representing.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico. Welcome.
All right, the 12s from Mexico are in the building.
Yeah, man. Thank you for showing
Cigar
that.
and all.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks so much.
You got it. Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question?
I drove 14 and a half hours down.
You drove 14 and a half hours.
All right.
I left at 4:30 and got here at 4:30 today. And we didn't get into the fan experience, but we had a great time because yesterday we were doing the flag raising.
All right, I want you to go in here and show people that helmet of yours, that hat.
All right. John Edward Smith is Sailor Seahawk, and he's the gentleman that does all the carvings.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, God bless.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that out here.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. All right, you got it. Go Hawks.
Okay,
You had a
I wanted
question.
to ask you a quick question because when I was talking to Julian Love, I think you were there too, they were talking about how close the team is. And you've covered the Seahawks for decades now, and you can compare it to different Super Bowl teams. Is this team closer than previous teams? I mean, they're different, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
No, I think it's fair to say. I don't think we're just living in the moment, prisoners of the moment here with this Seahawks team. They talk about it constantly, how there's a brotherhood. And I remember LOB, it wasn't like that. Sure, they were a great team and they had their own thing going.
Right.
But not like this. This is from 53 players on down, as Mike McDonald would like to say, 70 players, because that includes all the practice squad guys, on down. 1 through 70, all the coaching staff, they're just all together, and they're a big brotherhood, and they believe that. So this is certainly not an indictment on the LOB team. That team was awesome in its own right. This team has its own thing going.
And he talked about leading with love, and some people might think, oh, that sounds kind of sappy, but like they really do.
Yeah.
They really care about each other.
It's this generation.
Yeah.
This generation needs to lead.
It's a beautiful
with,
thing.
They need to lead with love. They need to accept love, and I really do think that that's actually a powerful thing, and it really is, and I think it does actually make them stronger, and it's not cheesy. I really do think that.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is about the veterans too. As we wrap it up, the young guys wanted to get to the Super Bowl, get those veterans to the Super Bowl. D. Laws in his 12th season, Leonard Williams in his 11th season. Wanted those guys to play in the big game, and they play for each other.
And they can see how sweet it is for those guys.
Yeah.
Right? To get there. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us from here. We're going to toss it back to you, Madison.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we will have so much more coverage from all three of you all this week right here on King 5. Thank you so much for joining King 5's Countdown to Kickoff. Again, we will stream this type of show every night this week as we get ready for Super Bowl 60. Our team will have live reports from the Bay Area each night at 8 p.m. Countdown to Kickoff streams for free right here on the King 5 app. And you can watch the Super Bowl this Sunday on King 5. Then join us for post-game coverage streaming free right here. Good night.